I will talk about the definition of log today. Let's start from question 3. So the first question, you are given an exponential form. 3 squared is 9. How can we get the log form for this? First, you write down log. So base 3 is down here. And then you write down the equal sign. So the next number we want to put is number 2, the exponent on the other side. Finally, you put the power 9 inside the log notation. So in my slide, I use counterclockwise or clockwise direction to remember this procedure. So when you read log notation, when you try to understand the log notation, you can use 3 to the second power is 9. So it looks like a counterclockwise direction. That's how to read a log, okay? How to check your answer. Okay, after you write down the log notation, you can check this way. Counterclockwise, 3 to the second power is 9. So the next question, we are given a log question. We are given the log form. Log 5 of x is 3. How can we change this back to exponential form? So we rate it in the counterclockwise direction. So first 5, start from 5. 5 to the third power is x. So the answer is 5 cubed is x. The last question in this part, we have 2 more questions in this part. You are given log 2 of 25 is x. We want to get the exponential form, so we start from base 2 and then look at these 3 numbers or letters in the counterclockwise direction. So from 2 you go to x, so that's 2 to the x power is 25. Then you got the answer. 2 to the x is 25. The last question in this part, the last example. So let's assume we are given the exponential form. 3 to the negative 2's power is y. We want to try to write down the log form. So you write down log first, and you write down the base down here. So the base is 3. And then you write down the equal sign, you write down the exponent, negative 2 on the other side of the equal sign. And then you write down the y inside the log. So check it, rate it counterclockwise. 3 to the negative 2's power is y. Okay, so now let's go to the problem 4 here. We want to evaluate log 4 of 16. So first we assume the answer is x, and then we use the counterclockwise direction. So the corresponding exponential form is 4 to the x is 16. So 16 is 4 squared. So x is number 2. Then we got the solution. Log 4 of 16 is 2. Question 5. Log 25 of 25. We assume is x, letter x. Then we have this counterclockwise direction. 25 to the x power is 25. So 25 is 25 to the first power. So x is 1. Number 6. Log 5 of radical 5. So counterclockwise again. 5 to the x is radical 5. So what is radical 5? It's a rational power of 5. So it's 5 to the half power. So x is 1/2. So from all these examples, you can see we first change log to exponential form, and then we compare the exponent. So number 7, log of 1/10 is x. So there's no base here, so that's our common log. We assume the base is 10. Counterclockwise, so 10 to the x is 1/10. So 1/10 is 10 to the -1's power. So the answer x is -1. So log 1/10 is -1. Question 8. Question 8 is the special property of log. Okay, so if you write down 2 to the log 2 of 7's power is x, then what do you will have? What's the corresponding log notation for this exponential form? So you put a log, you put base 2. So this whole thing on top, this is the exponent. So we should put it, the exponent part, on the other side of the log. And the x is the last letter. Okay, you can check it. Counterclockwise, 2 to this exponent is x. So now what is x? By comparing this log form, you can see x is 7. So in my handout, I just write down a property. So if you remember this property, you can get the answer number 7. If you don't, just use this idea. Okay, change log form to exponent form to change exponent form to log form. Number 9. Number 9 is a natural log. So the base is e. So what the answer here should be? So let's use a new letter y here. So counterclockwise, e to the y's power is e to the 2x. So compare the exponent in the log form, you got y is 2x. So the answer, ln e to the 2x power is 2x. So every time we just introduce a new letter and then look at the whole thing in the counterclockwise direction. So this is the evaluation part. Inverse function part. Okay, inverse function part. We have two functions. F of x is 4 to the 2x, and g of x is 1/2 log 4 of x. So I will start from g. Okay, I will try to find the inverse function of g. So step 1, we change gx to y. So we got y is 1/2 log 4 of x. So multiply by 2, you got 2y is log 4 of x. So now this time I will look at this log form clockwise direction. I will read it this way. Okay? So base 4 exponent 2y is x. So now the last step, change x to f inverse of y. So you got exactly the, sorry, it's not f inverse, it should be g inverse. We're talking about the function g inverse of y. So now you compare f and g, inverse. They are the same function. So f is g inverse. Okay, so finally we go back to the graphing questions, number 1 and number 2. So the difference is if you want to draw a graph of exponential function, number 1, we pick 5 numbers for x. So x is 2, 0, 2, 1, 0, -1, -2. So what's the corresponding f of x? So f of 2 is 4 second power plus 2 is 18. F of 1 is 4 to the first power plus 2 is 6. So you can read all the calculations in my solution manual. Then we got 5 points. So these 5 points, 2, 18, 1, 6, 0, 3, -1, 2 and 1 over 4, -2, 2 and 1 over 16. Plot these points, draw a picture, you got the answer. So the key point is, for the exponential function, we pick input. We pick x part, get corresponding 5 f of x, 5 points, and then draw the picture. So for the log function, number 2, it's very hard to estimate it log. So we first change this function, change this form to exponential form. We replace f of x by y, a new letter, and then we rate it either counterclockwise or clockwise. So 3 to the y's power is x. So we change log function to exponential function. So now this input for this exponential function will be the output of the log function. So we pick numbers for y, which is the output of f of x. So we pick y is 2, 1, 0, -1, -2. So x is 3 to the y's power. So corresponding x here will be 3 squared is 9. X for number 1, 3 first power is 3. And then we have 3 to the 0's power, 3 to the -1's power, and 3 to the -2's power. So we get 5 points, 9, 2. So when you write down the points, it has to be x comma y. It cannot be y comma x. Okay? So 3, 1, 1, 0, -1 over 3, and -1. Sorry, 1 over 3 and -1. 1 over 9 and -2. And then you got the picture in my handout. So the log picture looks like this. Okay, so here is the x-intercept one.